Hey everybody, we are into another month already. It is the 6th of July as I sit here. It's time for a monthly kind of wrap-up video. There's like 800 new subscribers, 800 something. So if you are kind of new to the channel, we do the monthly video where we kind of wrap up what's been going on with the channel, what's been going on with some rugby, what's the news. And occasionally I get to unveil a new jersey. Today is one of those days, so I'll go through that in a second. Talk a bit about some of the stats from the month. Discord, if you're familiar with Discord, we're talking about that for a little while. Some COVID cases in the Bok camp and Israel Folau's return to rugby union. So yeah, we'll kind of go through these things, and as always, enjoy having you guys here. The jersey, which I have already opened, is this one. It's a Bordeaux jersey from the top 14. They did remarkably well this year. Very good season for Bordeaux, and I'm very happy to have a Bordeaux jersey. The top 14 collection is certainly getting a wee bit bigger on the back of French rugby's improvement. Maybe wearing more of these jerseys. It's very slick. It's a Canterbury one. It's very nice. The fabric feels good. The Canterbury jerseys generally feel pretty good. And the quality, again, feels pretty nice. It doesn't feel like it's going to lose its shape anytime soon. The little the logo is like kind of rubbery thing. But yeah, I have Victoria to thank for this. So thank you, Victoria, for sending this through to me. I'm very, very happy to have a Bordeaux jersey. And I look forward to wearing it in some coverage of at least the Champions Cup or something sometime soon. So yeah, thank you so kindly for that. For the month of June, funnily enough, British and Irish Lions stuff was kind of all over the channel. The South Africans are back. You South African viewers are definitely back. South African viewers, because you can look at YouTube's analytics, like to see where your audience is at. So most of the people on the channel are usually from, like the top 5 is always the same. It's kind of UK, Ireland, New Zealand, Australia, and South Africa. And then it's like the US, Canada, Fiji, and then, there's France sometimes, depending on kind of what time of the year it is. But South Africa hasn't been number 1 for a while, but South Africa is number 1 at the moment, and I guess that's partly due to the Lions being back. So South Africa 1, UK 2, New Zealand 3, Australia 4, and Ireland 5. Most popular video in June was the squad comparison between the Springboks and the British and Irish Lions, looking like their heights and weights and stuff. So, it was nice to put some numbers to those kind of stereotypes about what we say about the Springboks being enormous and Hamish Watson being tiny, apparently not being all that true, but both squads having kind of size and bulk in some areas and maybe a bit of leanness in others. But yeah. I will also say a quick thank you to the guys who support the channel on Patreon. That's a very, I guess, a special thing that people go above and beyond to support the channel on Patreon. I'll scroll the names up as kind of my little thank you back to these guys for supporting the channel. I know it's not an easy thing in these times to be doling out money financially, but it does help me keep the channel afloat, I guess, seeing as I'm no longer working, trying to keep it that way, but we'll see how things go. Special thanks to John K, Ian H, and Michael D for their support as well. If you guys are willing and able to support the channel, I would greatly appreciate it. Check out the link down in the description for Patreon. The most viewed Patreon video this month was one where I had a random encounter with some dude who lives near my son's school. We were talking about rugby, and it was very pleasant encounter. But yeah, so thanks again to these patrons for supporting the channel. Honestly, means a lot. Yeah, I don't know what else to say other than that. You guys are awesome. But also to you guys for subscribing, for liking, for commenting, for viewing. All that kind of stuff helps the channel as well. So always good to have you guys along and joining the conversation. Speaking of joining the conversation, and another thanks to give out, is my man David has set up a 2 Cents Discord server. So I've never used Discord that much before. It's one of the first kind of apps that made me feel pretty old, in that I didn't know what was going on with it. I didn't know what buttons to click where, but now I think I'm pretty familiar with it. It's not actually that hard. But yeah, Discord is an online application where you can chat to people. You can share news. You can share pictures. All kinds of cool stuff goes on Discord. Usually, little communities get together and talk about whatever they're talking about. In this case, it'll be rugby. So I'll put a link in somewhere, description probably, for the Discord server as well. If you want to jump on the 2 Cents Discord, we've already had a few people from Patreon jumping on there and having a little bit of conversation about the Lions and some memorabilia and other stuff like that, but it's only just kind of getting started, so feel free to jump on if you're a regular Discord user or if you've never used Discord before. It's another free app where you can kind of get your rugby fix in this case, and there's other kind of stuff on Discord as well. Not that I'm promoting Discord, but here we go. We've got Discord. So thanks for David for taking the time to set that one up as well. I know a few people have asked in the past, do you have a Discord server? So it's kind of about time we got one set up. So yes, I think that's all the thanks. Thank you guys for being along. I will quickly say that the box, unfortunately, all 50 plus guys are, including the management and whatnot, are isolating because Lutiaka, who must be the unluckiest guy in the world, maybe not in the world, but one of the unluckiest professional rugby players in recent times, let's put it that way. He on the back of getting injuries after injuries in the last kind of 18 months, he's tested positive for COVID. He's been in close contact with a number of the guys in the squad, so he is isolating, and as are the rest of the squad. They're due to play Georgia on Friday, but that's kind of going to be announced. There'll be an update on that a bit later. They gave Georgia a bit of a hiding the other day. They shook off a little bit of rust after a bit of a slow start, but yeah, it was fantastic to see the Boks back in action. I hope they're able to kind of contain this to one guy, because remember, prior to Diaka getting it, they tested Herschel Yankees, Sibu Nkosi, and Vincent Koch all positive. Fortunately, Herschel's test came out to be a false positive, given that he'd had COVID in the past. But then Koch and Nkosi, their cases were still positive. So this is the third confirmed positive case. I saw someone on Twitter describe it as kind of whack-a-mole. Just when you think you've got one, two more pop up. So let's hope it's not like that. But you guys let me know what you reckon. Do you think this is going to have a serious impact? Obviously, the guys aren't training, which is not the ideal prep for the Lions, but we will see. Because they're in the bio bubble. Things are supposed to be secure, but I guess nothing is nothing's foolproof. But anyway, we will watch the developments with that one, and fingers crossed, knock on wood, that everything kind of goes along well. Lastly, Israel Folau, if you hadn't heard, is returning to rugby union. He is signed up to play for the NTT Communications Shining Arcs in the top league in Japan. I believe one of the better teams in the top league. It's a league that I don't follow all that well. But yeah, he was initially gonna play league in Australia after walking out on his contract in Europe. And then that kind of fell through because he couldn't get registered. I've only been following his stuff very loosely, but that's all gone out the window. And now he's going to be joining this top league team. So it'll be an interesting one to see how he goes. He's been out of rugby union for quite some time. Rob Penny's returning as the coach or the director of rugby of that team as well. I think he's been with them before. James Moore, the Japanese international of Australian origins, joining them. Rob Penny's kind of said the Japanese will embrace him for his sporting prowess. It will be interesting to see if there's any controversy around his joining for the Japanese fans. If my experience in China is anything to go by, people are often... There's differing reasons people get concerned about stuff. Like there are some really hot topic issues in the States and maybe even in New Zealand for certain topics that when I lived in China, people could not care less about, and then vice versa. So it will be interesting to see kind of if the baggage that comes along with Israel Folau carries any weight in Japan, or he's able to just get knuckled down and play in rugby. But anyway, 32 years old, he's probably got a few... Penny said he's got a bit of gas left in the tank. So, yep, we will see how things go. But yeah, as I said, thank you to Victoria for the Bordeaux jersey. That is phenomenal. I'm having a look around for a Romania jersey at the moment, seeing as they had a good game with the Pumas the other day, but they're pretty hard to find. I've seen a couple on eBay, but they are several $100s, so we'll pass on that. I don't have many opportunities to wear a Romania jersey, but that's just the one I'm on the hunt for. So let me know if you spot one. As I said, thank you to the guys who support on Patreon. If you are willing and able, please do consider signing up there. It would mean a lot. If you want to join up to the Discord and join that conversation, join in, because it's a bit of fun. That one is free, of course. How do you reckon the Boks are going to go with their COVID cases? How do you reckon Israel Folau will go on his return to the top league? And yeah, we look forward to all the rugby, which is a pretty full-on July. You guys take care of yourselves, stay safe, and yeah, I'll talk to you again soon. See you later.